Today we've got the maiden flight of the E-flite F16 80mm. This is the original version in the gray scheme. Let's take a look at the equipment. We're using the IX14 for a transmitter and receiver. This is a binding fly, so it's got the AR637T. We're using a Spectrum 6S 5050C smart battery. We're using the book settings. I'm going to start off in medium rate on the elevator and low rate on the aileron and see how it feels, and then we'll get it trimmed out and hopefully get a few passes in, and then we'll bring it in for the landing. We've got the reverse thrust set up, so we'll try to use that. I haven't done the flaperons or tailerons, so this is just stock configuration. This is putting the battery in there and setting the book rates, and we're going to take it up with that to start with. So let's take this F-16 up and see how it performs on the maiden flight. Taking off. A little bit of up, a little bit of left.
Dealer on low rates.
Alright, we're going to bring it around and make sure the gear goes down. Having to focus a little bit more on this one because it's gray sky. We got 3 in the green. Landing.
Reverse mode.
Wasn't as soft as I'd like to do, but
Normal mode.
plane came down a little bit heavier than I figured, and I was trying to get it stabilized on final, but it came down, touched down pretty good on the mains, and that suspension really helped and stuck it. We got 1:20 left. So I think that was a successful maiden.
Normal mode.
Now we've got the maiden flight completed on the E-flite F16 80mm. Kind of overview of the maiden flight. Took off down the center line, held very easy, going straight down the runway. I've got the rudder rate about 5% to 10% lower than the low rate in the book. Seem to want to hold very easy, especially with this narrow landing gear that the F-16 has. So that worked out. We got it up in the air. I noticed it was fighting me a little bit. Came around on the downwind, got the gear up. Once we went around again, then I started trimming it out. It needed a little bit of right and a little bit of up. However, once we got it trimmed out, made a few passes right there, CG was spot on. I mean, I didn't have to touch the stick at any throttle. Really, really balanced with that battery all the way back. Once we were in the air, like I say, made a couple passes. I wanted to do a couple of quick landings, you know, and made sure I had time for a go around. Once I came in on the downwind and had the plane trimmed out, I also turned AS3X off. So you'll notice a little bit of wing rock because we do have a fair amount of crosswind today. So when I was going on downwind, you'll notice in the video it kind of wing rock quite a bit. Also, with the battery placement, like I say, let's look at that again. That was spot on. I just put the battery all the way back. And the 100C packs are a little bit heavier than these, so it should work out great all the way back as well. Let's look at our telemetry on the battery. We've got 70% battery left, which equates to 23.60 on the pack. So plenty of juice left. We had it on a 3.5 minute timer. We flew a total, I think, of about 2.5 minutes. So the factory specification on the timer is 3.5 minutes. So more than enough time. However, with the wind, first time flying this bird, you know, I just wanted to make sure that, you know, had enough for a go around, because this plane for an 80mm, it does eat a little bit more battery than you would normally think, and it has the same motor as some of the other planes that we've had on the channel, the 2100 kV. Lights made it a little bit easier to see in the air. Flight characteristic versus maybe the 70mm, definitely flies heavier. You can't float in as much. When we came in, I added quite a bit of power at the end, holding the nose up. The attitude was right, sending it down, but I could have added just a touch more and a little bit softer landing, but the mains did, you know, their job and really planned it to the ground. We have a 330-foot runway, and you'll notice I used about half of it total as far as putting it on the ground and enabling the reverse thrust and slowing it down. So overall, I really like this F-16. It's a you know, good flying bird for an F-16 compared to the 70 I've flown, and feels even a little bit more scale. So if you enjoyed this maiden flight review today, go ahead and push like on the video. If you want to see future videos, subscribe to the channel while you're here. I appreciate y'all watching, and we'll see you on the next one.